Hey guys, Pastor Greg Locke here. You know, David said, when my heart is overwhelmed within me, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. You ever felt a overwhelming feeling, a sensation, if you will, of depression, anxiety, stress overload? As a pastor, I talk to a lot of people, but I find that one of the biggest things that helps people is my own vulnerability. Sharing that I struggle like everybody else does, that I put my socks on one foot at a time like everyone else does. And there have been many times in my ministry for long periods of time that I have greatly battled depression and anxiety. And you know, it's weird even hearing myself say that, because as a minister of the gospel for many years, I was trained that that's evil and demonic, and there's no such thing as depression in the life of a Christian. Well, get that foolishness out of your mind. That's dumb. Elijah struggled with depression. Moses struggled with depression. Many people throughout the entirety of the Word of God struggled with depression. David struggled with it. It's a reality. Now, it's not something we just sit around in and suck our thumbs and have a Pauline pity party. We've got to learn how to get victory in that area. But I suffered great depression. I'm talking about as a pastor of a growing church, married to a wife that loves me, great kids, things going well, walking around through life, putting on a Jimmy Carter smile, fake it till you make it, go to church, preach a sermon, go home, get in the bed, and can barely get up for days. Couldn't answer the phone. And I went through a very difficult time. I have to make sure that I stay thoroughly engaged in my walk with Christ, or I can see that it could slip upon me very, very quickly. It's kind of like Job said, that which I feared the most has come upon me. And when I went through it, I was in total denial. Oh, I'm not in depression, I'm a Christian. But I was. It was a difficult reality in my life. And people kept saying, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And that would accentuate the anxiety even more, because if you're really struggling with depression, you can't explain what's wrong with you. You just hurt and don't even know why you hurt. And I had basketball-sized ulcers, chewing my fingernails to the quick, couldn't sleep at night, and then wanted to sleep all day long. It was horrible. I hated it. I never forget when I knew that I really needed help. I laid my seat back in my minivan thinking that I would take a nap in the parking lot of a Mapco Express for 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, get a power nap. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 3 o'clock that afternoon, the sheriff's department was beating on my window thinking that I was dead. My wife had been looking for me all day long, and I'd fallen asleep. My body was just so tired. And you know what? I realized that day that God's people can experience deep, deep emotional scars and can suffer through depression. Now, God has used my pain as a platform to help others. That's why I do this video. I've done other videos on depression and how I've conquered it, and perhaps I'll revamp and revive a few of those. But I just wanted to tell you on this dreary day that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope in Jesus Christ. Find yourself some people that you can speak to, that can speak into your life. You've got to shed some light on this darkness, or it'll never get better. And so, do Christians struggle with depression? Yes. Is it a reality? Yes. Can God help us? Yes. Does it mean you're less than? Does it mean you're evil? Does it mean you're wicked? No. It means that there's some things in your heart and your mind that you are going to have to deal with, and transparency is the first way to deal with it. So I don't know why I shared this video, and I don't know who needs it, but I love you. And I'm glad God asked me to share it today, because I've struggled with depression for a very long time, and I want you to know that there's a pep in my step. I've got spiritual spizzerington. God has given me victory in that area, and He's no respecter of persons. He can do the same for you. Keep pressing on, friend. God's got a plan for your pain.